Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Awesome Naya. Hope you are good. Came across this video of a sister talking about how she was followed in a store by these people. You and I know how rampant this is. It is nothing new. It's been happening, but just that some people do not know. One was almost crying. Why? Because she felt like maybe because she did not write a list of the things she wanted and all that. And I am saying, take it easy on yourself. It's not because you did not write a list. It is because this is what they've been doing. This is what they've been doing, and it's nothing new, right? But one thing I am going to tell my people is that I have learned so much from you. And at the same time, you can also learn one or two from me, right? What I have learned is that I do not spend money where you are not wanted. And I have carried that on my head for so long. When I am walking into a store, I walk in with so much confidence that if you talk to me in a way that I do not like, I have my card. I simply walk away. And I have told you people how I went to buy something and the man threw my money I should pick it. I told him to give me back the one I gave him. I told him, give me back the one I gave you, not the change you gave me. I collected the one I gave him and I left what I bought for me. I left. So I am learning my value because you taught me. So please make sure you spend your money where you are wanted. Let's get into this video.
I want you to know I was racially profiled in a grocery store near my house. Now, this is not the first time, but I want you to know the reason why I know that I was being racially profiled, or at least profiled in general, is because the two tall, slender white gentlemen who followed me around the grocery store had red flags glaring like be-doo, be-doo, be-doo. Number one, they were not holding anything. When you walk around a grocery store, you are picking up items. Not once, twice, 3 times did I see these people walking from aisle to aisle as I was walking from aisle to aisle. And they did not pick up one thing. Not one damn thing. Secondly, they weren't even holding a basket. They weren't pushing a cart. Now, I understand people come in the aisle and take one thing and go back. But when you're walking aisle to aisle, unless you're looking for something specific, you're looking up at the aisle description. You're not looking down the aisle at another person. That was the second thing. Number one, they didn't pick anything up. Number two, they weren't even trying to pretend because they didn't even have a cart or a basket. Number three, I saw one of them down the aisle several times, and so I stopped. And I absolutely laughed in that man's face. And by the time I got around to the following aisle, poof, he was gone. Now, then comes the second slender, tall, white gentleman following me around the store. And this case, he was eating food out of his pocket, which I thought was odd in the store. Maybe you do this if you have a baby, you have a little food out in the store. Because it's just, I don't know, maybe that's weird for me. Because typically I think if you're eating food in the store, they probably think that you've taken it off of the shelf, and so probably not a good thing. Anyways, so then I see him and I notice his little lanyard string hanging out of his pocket. Red flag. Hello, I know you work here. Just so blatantly obvious, right? So then we get to the checkout, and the customer service agent, the person who's doing the checkout, the cashier, he says, good evening, do you need a bag, right? To the person in front of this guy who is now in front of me in the checkout, okay? And they check out. Then the guy who is clearly the person who is following me around as their security drops one item, coffee filters, onto the conveyor belt. The cashier does not ask him, do you need a bag? He gives him 0 customer service, okay? Another red flag. Because you're trying to be less obvious about the fact that you know this man. You know that this is security that's working in the store, right? And also, this man has a massive puffer jacket on, okay? Why do you have a big-ass puffer jacket on? We are in LA. You don't need that kind of jacket. You need a light coat, a light jacket. You don't need puffer. It is 80-something degrees every single day. This was at nighttime, but it was about 9 o'clock in the evening. It's still about 70 degrees outside. Maybe 69. He was not cold. unless he's walking around that store all the time and it's cold in the grocery store, okay? So he throws down the coffee filters, and then the guy rings him up, and as he's ringing him up, he's picking out change from his hand, 25, 35, 45, 65, and he's picking out the exact total of what it is. Now, I don't mind people picking out change from their pockets, whatever, but he puts it in the guy's hand, he totals him up, shuts the drawer, and then the guy who's like the security person, he goes, "Oh, can I have a receipt for that?" Now, I'm just going to say, I don't mind people asking for receipts, but I knew, since seeing his little lanyard thing coming out of his string coming out of his pocket, he needed that so he could get reimbursed. Okay. Then the guy's like, "Oh, sure." Right. And so then I lean in as the guy is asking me. He goes, "Oh, would you like a bag?" I said, "Oh, I'd like to." And then he grabs my ID because I bought some wine or whatever. And then I give him my ID. And then as he's like looking at it, I said, "Hey, just want to let you know that the people that are, following people around here, they're not very discreet." And he goes, Didn't ask me, "Hey, who are you talking about? What people? What do they look like?" No, he just said, because he knew his not giving them any customer service was the dead giveaway that what I was perceiving as being followed around this grocery store by two people, not just one, that I was right. And now I believe I should be an FBI agent.
I'm kind of angry, but also incredibly sad and hurt. I'm trying to prep for Stampede because it is literally this Friday. And so I went to Shoppers and I'm looking for a self-tanning mitt and a body oil. I don't want to cry, but I was being followed. So I don't know what they thought I was doing. I was in the aisle for a long time because I was looking on TikTok for some suggestions, and I had the first associate come up to me, fine, and then literally this person, it's like she was just like wandering around. It turns out she was supposed to be just like restocking the shelves. I see she like walks past the aisle that I'm in. Don't think a lot of it. And then I leave the aisle because I realize that the product that I'm looking for is not there. And so I noticed that she is following me. And then she turns and she's like, "Oh, can I help you find something?" And I was like, "I'm literally just looking." And I can't remember the last time that I was followed in a store. I do take precautions. I literally take precautions when I leave the house to kind of let people know, like, hey, I am literally just here to buy your product. I'm not going to steal. And the one day I decide to bring my fanny pack with me is the day that people decide to follow me. And like, I didn't wear it as like a belt bag, so I don't know if they just found that really sus. I literally, most of the time, I enter stores with just my phone, my keys, and my wallet because I don't want people to think that I'm gonna like put things in my pocket, put things in my bag or anything. And the fact that this just happened really has me so upset. I want to cry because, like, what is it about me that gives these employees the idea that I want to steal something? Was it because I was in the aisle too long? If that's the case, I am literally just gonna start researching things. I'm literally just going to start researching things before I leave the house so that I can, I'm going to research the things before I leave the house, or I'll just sit in the car and research, get my reviews all in check, and then know what I'm going to get before I enter the store, because I do not want to feel this feeling ever again.
I want y'all to understand something. White people have the entitlement of being able to follow us around in stores or going and keeping tabs on us before they go and tell the people in management or authority what they think they saw, they think they know what's happening, whatever the case is. The audacity that comes from people, the white people who do this, it comes from slavery. It comes from slavery. Same way we do things that came from slavery, like run when we laugh, there's a reason for that. It's in our DNA because our DNA was altered by the traumatic things we endured. Same way their DNA was altered. During the same time, baby, if it affected us, it affected them. Don't even mistake about it. The reason why they feel entitled to be able to follow us around is because they know the power that they held. It's in their DNA that they had the power to enact on us at any time, like they some damn vigilantes. Because at the time, that's all it took. You didn't have to have no badge. You didn't have to have no law. You didn't have to be anybody from anywhere as long as you was white. You could say that these young gentlemen did anything to anybody, and everyone around you that was white would believe you. You could be following them. You could be stalking them. You could be doing whatever you want to them. And at all times, it was always going to be their fault and never hers. Because she's a white woman. We know historically white women are one of the main reasons why so many people were lynched. Innocent black men, to be specific. And it's still happening to this day. Listen, this could have happened. This could have led to something ridiculous had she not kept on walking and took her nosy behind on somewhere. They feel entitled because it's in their DNA that's still telling them that they are entitled, that they have agency over us, what we do, our bodies, and our business. So remember that the next time a white person follows you around anywhere or tries to assert some sort of dominance over you, black folk, it's because of slavery.
All right, racists, let's talk about...
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
It's no secret that racist America has a rabid obsession with the black American woman. What's the true secret, however, is that the fascination is an obsession that the inferior has for the superior. It's a bitter fixation like a peasant would have for a queen. They are obsessed because the magic that they see in her is a tangible they can never get their hands on. Racists see an architect of culture, a commander of language, and an unbreakable pillar of creation through resilience. While white history is the definition of theft, the black American woman is an encyclopedia of genius written against impossible odds. But hey, let's look at the evidence. Look at the women who built reality from imagination. Shirley Chisholm, the political prophet who was unbought and unbossed. She was the first black American woman in Congress who had the audacity to run for president and shattered the idea that the White House is a White House. Zora Neale Hurston, a literary anthropologist and author who journeyed through the South to preserve the folklore, songs, and stories of her people. She captured the rhythm, language, and soul of black life in America in a way that white anthropologists could only observe from a sterile, distant shore. Fannie Lou Hamer, the sharecropper who turned a brutal beating into a thunderous voice for the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, forcing a nation to hear the price of the vote. Octavia Butler, the literary scientist who used science fiction to dissect the pathologies of the present and prescribe visions of a future where black people not only survive, but lead the evolution of humanity. Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history. She has redefined the limits of human potential with a dominance so absolute they had to literally redesign the sports scoring system in a futile attempt to contain her greatness. She is the living embodiment of black excellence as a physical force of nature. Marsha P. Johnson, the warrior and pioneer who stood at the forefront of the Stonewall Uprising, defending the right to exist with a fearless joy that ignited a global movement for liberation. Mae Jemison, the chemical engineer, physician, and NASA astronaut who broke the ultimate barrier, carrying the spirit of her people into the cosmos as the first black American woman in space. Toni Morrison, the Nobel laureate who took the English language, the very tool of racial subjugation, and forged it into a weapon of sublime truth, telling the stories white people were terrified to tell about themselves. Ida B. Wells, the investigative journalist, educator, and early civil rights leader who wielded her pen like a sword, exposing the barbarism of lynching and fighting terror with unflinching, documented truth. Annie Turnbow Malone, a millionaire inventor and business magnate who developed a revolutionary line of hair and beauty products for black women. She built an empire, Pe0ple college that trained thousands of women in entrepreneurship and created economic independence long before corporate America would let them in the door. Racist Americans are obsessed because the Black American woman is the ultimate creator and innovator. Black American women are the master economists who can build a legacy from nothing. Black American women are the artists who define global culture. Black American women are the scientists who cure the uncurable. We honestly have Black American women to thank for our past, for our present, and for our future. Black American women are the creators. Black American women are the leaders. Black American women are the standard. So continue shining in your natural beauty like the goddess you are, in full confidence, knowing that there's no person greater on this planet than the Black American woman.
This is all I got from this video, and I am going to say sorry to these young ladies for what happened to them and how they fared. But baby girl, let me tell you something. It is not about you researching what you want and having it going there. As long as you are a Black person and you walk into a store, majority at times you are a suspect. Even if you have the list of the things you need to buy or not, you are actually a suspect. I have never experienced being followed, but I have experienced being asked, can I have your receipt at the exit? Just to make sure that because they saw a Black person carrying so much bags, and they are like, how could she afford it? While every other person was just passing. They had to stop me to ask, can we have the receipt of what you bought? So it is not, and they were very lucky that I had paid everything, and I was just about to leave the place. So when you see them following you, it's like she said, dominance. They want to let you know that it is you are in their territory, and this is just crazy. Why? Because most the people that shoplift do it and they don't even know. Let me give you an example. Maybe as a teacher, I am not supposed to say this, but it doesn't mean anything. I will still tell you the truth, and nobody will question me. My students, the first day I knew that my students were shoplifting, I screamed the hell out of my lung. I screamed so bad. So I went to the store with some of them, right? I bought things, paid for it, and they also bought things. They were supposed to pay for it. So only for me to find out that some of them already ate something in the store. They took something in the store and ate it. I think they trashed it or some pocketed whatever they ate, right? Some of them took other things too and put in their pockets and in their bags, and then paid for. I don't know if some did not even pay for what they picked. Some paid. So it was okay. We went on a trip. So it was when we got into the bus. I got back into the bus and they were like, they were telling me that I ate something, and I said, like, oh, what did you eat? And then before we started having conversation. They told me that they shoplifted it. I screamed. I said, how? How do you shoplift something? I was trying to tell these kids that what they did wasn't good. They said, it's not a big deal. I mean, this is them, coach, telling me that it is not a big deal, right? That it's normal. That they don't care. In their words, they don't care if you shoplift or not. They can let you. They can let you eat something in the store as long as you are not packing it in baskets, like so much basket. Why? Because insurance covers majority of all these things. What they actually told me is true, but hearing from them that they go to the store to shoplift was another shock on its own. So sometimes sometimes they are just following the wrong people. And like she said, all these are slavery mindset from then that they still carried into today. Dominance. And that was one of the reasons why some black people were lean and thin back then. I said what I said. What I do, I cannot go into a store where you follow me around. Are you mad? When I have my money on my palm or my card. Here. No. I am an Igbo girl, and I have also learned from you people too. So my head is becoming a little bit stronger. Once if I walk into a place, I have done it several times in several places. And also there is one, okay, sorry, I'm digressing, but hear this one. There is one that happened to me. That was a place where I and my friends, when we travel, that is where we go all the time. And most times when we travel, we spend like a month plus, 2, 3, right? And they know us that place. We are not new. Once we come, they already know. Oh, they are going to eat, they are going to drink and all that. Because I go with my friends. So that day, I don't know what happened, or they changed a management or whoever. So I was carrying, I was carrying something. I told them, but I am here to eat. I am waiting for my friends to come. I told them how I got into the place and all that. I mean, they started giving me attitude. And they stood me out for a while. Guess what I did? And that was also where I planned to have my birthday with my friends. Guess what I did? That was I told them this will be the last day you will ever see me. You will never get my money anymore. That was how I and my friends left the place. I don't go there anymore. My friends do not go there anymore. So I am very careful these days. Before I don't care, but now I care. Because I deserve some respect when I am spending my hard-earned money. Because I work so hard for you to also insult me why I am spending my money. So kings and queens, when they give you that attitude, walk away. Do not bother. Bye for now.